Alright, today I'm going to be going through how to fill out the DCM stock evaluation spreadsheet. And just kind of, this is the value line here on the right side, and then the spreadsheet here on the left. First thing to do when you start, put in the name of the company that you're going to be doing. I'm going to be using Phillips 66 today. I also like to put in the ticker symbol in parentheses to help people find it on different stock evaluation websites like Yahoo Finance or Fidelity, Zacks.com, or Value Line even. It's easy to search the ticker symbol rather than typing in the company name. Then we're going to move into the stock price, high and low. So along the top here, you see a high and a low. This is the stock price for each given year, which can be found right here. So we're going to first use data from 2012. You see that the high was 54.3. Put that in. And move down to 2013 and just kind of go along the top. 77.3, 88, 94.1, 90.9, 102.4, 124, 119.9, 113.2, and 94.3. And because 2020 is the current year that we're in, we don't need to put the high and the low because that's just representative of how long we've been in 2022 so far. We don't know what the stock price is going to be in December of this year yet. Then we'll move to the low, which is found right underneath the high. So 28.8, and then 2.1, 64, 57.3, 71.7, 75.1, 78.4, 80.2, 40, and 63.2. Alright, so that is the stock price high and low. Now we can move into cash flow per share. So to find this, scroll to kind of the right side of your value line. And in this column here, you have the labels. And it says second one here is cash flow per share. So follow that line back across to 2012. You see that it's 8.8. And we just enter those in. Now across 9.24, 10.02, 5.25, 7.34, 15.24, 10.2. So then in 2020, we see that there is a D 5.91. This means the D stands for a deficit, so a negative. Then you put in a negative 5.91, and then in 2021 we're back positive again, 6.67. 19.15, 11.75, and then you come on the spreadsheet to the projected column or row, and so you see 2023 over here on the value line, and then on the other side of that description or label column, there's a 25 through 2027. This is the projected column. So we'll go to cash flow per share, go to the right there, and we see 15.15 is the projected. So that's what we use for this one. And then we go back up to revenue per share, which is the same thing as sales per share, which is that top row here. So 287.81, 290.75, 295.05, 186.95, 162.46, 203.78, 244.34, 243.28, 146.79, 254.36, 358.60, 333.35, and 526.30. So you may notice that in the value line these numbers are darker. Black, that's because they are actually projections, not actual numbers, and that's what the value of having value line is, that they give projected numbers for all of these different metrics and data points. So then we'll move to earnings per share, which is this third row here. So 6.48 in 2012, 5.92 in 2013, 7.1, 7.73, 2.92, 4.58, 11.0, 6.77. We have that D again, so deficit. It's going to be quite common to see deficits in 2020 because of the COVID and how that affected companies. We jump back up to 2.97, 15.6, 8, and 9.6 for that 25 to 2027. We'll move into dividends per share, which can be found in the fourth row. So we start off with 0.45, 1.33, 1.89, 2.18, 2.45, 2.73, 3.10, 3.5, 3.6, 3.62, 3.83, 4.03, and then that projected again 4.8, which can be found right here. All right, so now we'll move to capital spending per share, which is in that fifth row. So 2.76, 3.01, 6.91, 10.89, 5.48, 3.65, 5.79, 8.78, 6.68, 4.24, 4.10, 4.35, and 6.9 for projected. We move to working capital, which can be found down here. So kind of skip a few. And it's right in this row, and just put it in these digits of 1,000. 6306, 5602, 4725, 3217, 4283, 4274, 2749, 3758, 81896, 4300, 3800, and 36. So working capital is your current assets minus your current liabilities. If value line doesn't have working capital, sometimes it doesn't have it if the company is operating at a negative working capital, so current liabilities are greater than current assets. You can go pull all the 10Ks from 2012 to 2021 and then kind of fill in a number by doing a quick calculation there. Now we'll move to shares outstanding. That's this one here that's kind of blocked off by itself, common shares outstanding. So 623.55, 590.18, 546.38, 529.41. An email from David Platter. Where was I? 518.77, 502.27, 456.17, 441.3, 436.87, 438.25, 465, 450, and 380. So then that will fill in the working capital per share for us. The green you don't have to fill in, there's formulas in there already. So then we'll go to book value. That's here in the sixth row, I believe. 33.32, 37.19, 39.1, 43.63, 43.16, 49.94, 54, 46 or 56. Excuse me, 56.48, 43.45, 43.73, 53.75, 54.45, 68.40. Then move to the last one here, return on equity or return on total capital. So there's return on total capital, return on shareholders' equity, we like to use the return on total capital instead of the return on shareholders' equity. So it's just probably labeled incorrectly, should be total capital, which is that top one there. So start in 2012 again, 15.3, 13.5, 14.2, 13.7, 5.4, 7.4, 16.4, 9.1, and then we have an NMF, which is pretty much not able to calculate. You're dividing by a div or a 0 or a negative, so just put in 0 and 0. We'll have to deal with that later. 7 and then 7. So then we'll scroll back to the left, and we have the beta, which can be found on our value line report. Up towards the top, up here, the small number right there is 1.3. So put that in as 1.3, and then we'll go to long-term debt. And then these numbers, instead of typing in what they have, you actually have to put it in its full value. So see that this is 12,969,969,000. Just widen this a little bit here. There we go, and we'll go total debt. Oh, yeah, that's the total debt. So this is the total debt on the top, long-term debt here on the bottom. So I mix these up here. So 12,969,000,000. And we'll change this top one here to 12,443. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We have the total common shares exactly. We had kind of put them in earlier, but that's kind of put in that rounded, not rounded, but they take all the zeros away so that everything can fit. So 481,051,097, and then we have long-term interest, which can be found over here, 760 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then current price, the recent price is up here, 89.16, but to find current price, just go on Yahoo Finance, search the ticker symbol, and pull in that price. I'm just going to use the 89.16 for right now and come back and fix that later. And then date of evaluation, I'll put in today's date, so today's 10/12/2022. And there we got it, almost everything. So we see that ROE growth here, the calculation didn't work. And we'll put this into full screen now so we can see almost everything here. Maybe zoom out a little bit farther. We see that this is pulling information from this column N. And the issue is that we have 2 zeros. So it's trying to average 0. And that doesn't really help us because it's the change, not just the number. So we're going to take away this 0. That was in N11. And we're also going to take away the one that was in N10 by just kind of getting rid of those. Close parentheses. So we're just kind of shifting it to this section here. And we'll just kind of put it in there, 6.21. I think that's a pretty accurate growth, ROE growth, return on total capital growth for this company. So I like it. Sometimes you have to tweak it. I'll probably have another video out with a more complicated tweak if I run across one. Alright, so then everything is filled out. And then we go to just kind of check everything, summary of outputs. So this is where all the information was just put right away. See that there's an issue with dividend growth rate that we'll have to go adjust. So we'll go back to that next. But we see here cash flow per share is a little overvalued. By projected cash flow is overvalued, but revenue is undervalued. Earnings per share about equal. Book value almost exactly where it needs to be. So to kind of adjust this dividend models, we go to this model here, the CG based DDM, and we see that our dividend growth rate is 34%, which is pretty outlandish. So we'll kind of change that, put a yes in here. And I usually kind of just start like, okay, small discount here, so maybe 6.5, nope, 6.8. We're getting close, 6.8 to 6.85. All right, gets us right there to kind of equally valued. So this means that our dividends would have to grow by almost 7% every year for this company's dividends to be equal value or equal the value of the company for us. And then this next one, the two-stage dividend model here is the same type of concept, except we have a short-term and a long-term dividend growth rate. So here we will kind of keep the short-term 7.47 and then change the long-term here to say 7%. See where we, okay, 6.5. Oh, put in too many periods there. 6.5. Maybe a little bit more than that. 6.7. A little bit more. 6.8. And there we go. So a little bit less than 6.8 for the long-term growth with a short-term growth of, I guess here it says 3 years. You can adjust this to 4 or I guess 9, 8. How long that short-term growth rate will go other than that long-term. All right. Quick kind of basics of the spreadsheet, and then I'll have some more that kind of dive into the different tabs, normalized ratios, and just the ratios tabs as well. All right. Thank you.